go ahead with what you were
Well,
saying.
no, I mean, it's funny that you brought up flood the zone because that's exactly what the theories are, is that they flooded the zone with people like uh, George Zinn. Are you familiar with him?
Um, Maybe. Let me pull up the name.
Yeah, see, that was my
Oh,
fear,
you
is that
mean
you
George?
haven't
Oh, you
looked
mean
into this
George?
at
Yeah, yeah.
all.
You mean George Zinn? Oh, hang on. You Because I don't recollect names off the top of my head doesn't mean I'm not familiar with the content. George Zinn is the guy who's the supposed patsy. That guy,
Yeah.
the supposed decoy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, I'm familiar with it. By the way, this guy, just so you know, this dude was arrested or has been at many, many events where he has caused all sorts of problems
Yeah.
at many events.
Yeah. What would you say the statistical probability of that would be?
Well, because he goes to so many events, it would be statistically much higher. Just like how you see in Antifa the same faces over and over and over
No, no,
again
no.
at many of those
No. I
events.
mean events in which something catastrophic, unprecedented happened.
Well, it's not
It
unprecedented.
is unprecedented. The Boston
It's
is not
unprecedented.
unprecedented. 9/11 is not unprecedented. What do you mean? He was
Well,
at
wait,
these events. What do you think
I'm
the
talking about the
statistical
Charlie Kirk.
probability of that would be?
Well, let's find out if he was at the events first.
He definitely was. It's literally on
Let's
record.
find out. Well, let's
Okay, so
find out if
now,
that's
but if he
literally true.
was, then you'd find it
But
compelling,
if he
correct?
was, if he was, that might at least support your claim. But let's find out if he
Really
was. So you're
support my
claiming that
claim.
George Zinn was at the Boston, correct?
Correct.
Is that your claim?
That is.
All right.
Yeah, he was involved, meaning there was some paperwork that he was involved with law enforcement or investigated in some way at this event. How he would
Mhm.
have known that it was going to be, a or or planes flying into buildings, how he
Mhm.
would know that is, yeah. But again, flood. I'm glad you brought up the flooding the zone, because do you agree? Would you agree that that's one of the theories that's been put out there?
Sure.
Okay,
So George Zinn, I can't actually find that he was at the Boston. What happened with him is he was charged with making threats, which he pleaded down to a misdemeanor. So this was heavily investigated even at the time.
it doesn't matter what he pleaded. It
Yeah.
matters that he was literally at these incidents, these events,
Why was he at that event though? That's what we haven't
or
established yet.
involved in some way.
Yeah. So and
Okay,
then what's his
okay,
connection
and
to
so
9/11?
it really doesn't matter. The point is, George
It does
Zinn.
matter. The specifics really matter. So let's go to 9/11 George Zinn. So he was present in New York City on September 11th. He had some news footage from that day where he was interviewed while witnessing the collapse of the two towers, like hundreds and hundreds of other
Why is
people.
Rachel laughing? Like, what do you like? Hundreds of other people that weren't also at the Charlie Kirk event saying they did it, they did it with their pants down.
Well, so this guy has been a media for years and years and
Yeah,
is
part of
known for
flooding the
going to
zone. Yeah, it's kind of part of the
calm
flooding the
down.
zone.
That's not what flooding the zone means. So, there's many people who are media to go to events like this. You'll find the same faces at many of them
Gotcha.
because people like that
Was there any others at Charlie Kirk's neutralization?
neutralization.
Yeah, he was
Was there any other
neutralized.
what? Was there any other people who were media at the Yes, there was many media there, including, Parker or not Parker, what was the other guy's name? I've debated with him before, the dork, why can't I think of his name? Kid that, Kirk was debating with.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I've
The
actually
oh, it's funny.
Yeah, well, he's a I think he's a kid. I can't remember what his name is though. Something Staxiums maybe or whatever.
Yeah. No, I
Anyway,
know who you're
yeah,
talking
I've
about.
tangled up with him before, and many of these people go to the same types of events over and over again. In the case of TPUSA was a massive political organization which spanned tons and tons of colleges, And on that speaking tour, there was tons of people who would go to multiple of those speaking tours, just like when I do debate cons, there's multiple of the same faces who will come to those debate cons. So this is actually what flooding the zone is, where you pretend that by using tangential and unrelated facts that they have some broader meaning. There is no broader meaning to these. You're just lacing them
No, no,
together
you
as though
don't
they.
know if there's a broader meaning or not. You're
Well, and
just
unless you
kind of
demonstrate a
arbitrary.
broader meaning, these are just
I don't
tangential
have to
facts. And
demonstrate
what is the
one for you to not
then
know
why
that
are you bringing it up? Then why are you bringing it
because
up? What is it?
it's just one of many that particular day. Do you believe that there was flooding the
Uh-huh.
zone during JFK's neutralization?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
gotcha.
So,
And
but
so,
anyway,
so
but I don't understand. Can you help me out here? I'm going to agree to these tangential facts. What does that mean though for your position? What
what
does
for
it
my
show for
position,
your
it
position?
means that,
Is
yeah, that one, like I was saying in the last space, you don't uh, have um, uh, anything to stand on when it comes to shaming Candace Owens or calling her an idiot or saying anything disparaging to about her at all. You
how does this do that for you exactly?
because if she were back in the time when that happened to JFK, then she would have actually been uh, the person to bring a lot of things to light. Just like there were those
Okay,
guys,
well,
just there's
I don't understand how
those people should be
do these
respected.
tangentials
Tho-
how do these tangentials do anything for your
oh,
position
because we were
here? I don't
talking about
understand.
flooding the zone. There's George Zinn. There's also uh,
Yeah, that's you. This is you, a case of you flooding the zone with useless tangential
how is it you?
information.
How is that
What
you?
does
Why
this?
is it? Why are
Yeah,
you
okay.
saying it's useless?
I'll explain how it's useless. Ready? Tie any of that into Charlie Kirk's death. Go ahead. Any of it.
Okay, so you're saying that if you were going to, based on what the theories are, commit this, then you're saying it wouldn't be help to have distractions, many different distractions.
You no. Do
That's
you
how I'm tying it
understand
in. It's
the
it's a
idea
distraction.
that this guy was an eyewitness in New York City, okay, for during 9/11, and he also called in threats during the Boston. Tie that into how this relates to Kirk's
Oh,
death. How
because
does it relate to Kirk's death?
he's one element of what this state will can do or would do related to flooding the zone. I was just building off of what you were trying to explain to
No,
me.
no, you're flooding the zone, though. You're the one who's saying that these tangential things, which have
No,
no
no, no,
bearing on Kirk's death, are somehow related. How are they related?
because
You have to
as a
build the
distraction, as a
relationship.
distraction. That's what the theory is.
You're the one using it to distract, though.
No, no, no. I'm
The
saying
state's not using this to distract from their evidence. You're using it to distract from the
no, no.
state's
They were
evidence.
distracting to from what actually took place. Why
You're
don't
the
you
one
understand
who's
that?
distracting,
can you
though.
okay,
I don't get it. Like,
okay.
you're the one
No, no,
doing
hold
that.
on. But can you steel man any theories about what people like Candace and Barron and others are saying, Ian, can you steel man any of their theory? Do you even know what anybody's saying? Or are you just completely confused?
Of
So what is
course,
the
but
theory?
that has
How
no
does that
bearing.
not
Well,
have
wait.
bearing?
That has no bearing at all on whether or not anybody is able to present any good evidence whatsoever for an alternative position to the states. And that's what I'm waiting for.
First of all,
Anybody
they
to
don't,
do
first
that.
of all, they, nobody really needs to. All you have to do is have reasonable doubt. So for one,
Sure. Okay. Let's see that too. Let's see. But my position is not whether or not you can beat a case due to reasonable doubt. My position is very clear.
okay,
And I
okay.
said it at the beginning that the state's case right now, it has the best evidence and explanatory power for what happened to Charlie Kirk, and no alternative theory that I've heard does. That's my position. Now,
Right.
if you have an alternative, now what is the counter to that position? Isn't it in fact the case that the state does indeed have the best narrative right now and the best explanatory power for what happened, and that you guys do not actually have that?
Oh, absolutely not. So
Okay, well
we've
then
talked.
that's what we're debating then, is whether or not the state has a more compelling
Right,
evidence
but
to
before we
any
could even
alternative
start the
theories.
debate, I had to understand how, like, to what degree you're holding the state's
Yeah, but what
evidence.
you do
And
you
because so
understand?
I
You
had
just
to
agreed.
understand.
Yeah, do
uh,
you understand what you just agreed to? You just agreed to a debate where
yes,
you're
I
making
know.
now the claim that alternative theories and evidences make more sense than the
Correct.
state.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Right, right.
Then
But before
now that's
that,
a positive claim, so let's get into that.
great. But before that, I had to
Yeah.
at least understand what do you actually consider facts. And we're not just starting the debate. We've had this debate in the last space, and we're just continuing. So just to catch everybody up, you agreed that it is a fact that canines did not find the firearms, and you agree that it is a fact that um, law enforcement found it first. And
Yeah.
so right.
So,
And so okay, so the theory, and you don't believe, I'm sorry, you believe that theory, that uh that's more likely, right? This is state's evidence that that's more likely than actually the being planted there. And that's fine.
yes.
That's fine. I just wanted to
That's
clear.
correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Right. And
Mhm.
so we covered
And so
that,
you're
and I'm
taking the
and then
position that it's actually more likely that the was planted there.
correct. Based
Mhm.
on where the proximity to where it occurred, based on that what was written on the shell casings, based on canines not finding it. So
Mhm.
obviously, I'm using multiple data points
Now
to put
now that
my
I'm hang
theory together.
on. Yeah, so now that I'm at my desktop though, reviewing this claim, um, so canines were we agree to the fact that canines were utilized on the scene for tracking the shooter's scent through a construction site and onto an adjacent property, right? We agree with that?
Correct.
Do you know though that there's no official confirmation um, that they did or didn't locate the rifle? It just those are just theories that bomb dogs failed to find the. Like, is there any? Can you actually show me confirmation that bomb dogs didn't find the? Because I can't actually confirm
Yes,
that.
it was. It was in the it was you in the UVU police report. As a matter of fact, I think they even discuss it over the radio, that that the dogs were unsuccessful. Like people have these recordings. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to present that to you now, but
Okay, well, I'd like to
that's fine
clear
if you
this
don't
point
believe
up.
it. But
I'm not It's not a matter of belief. Like, do you understand that right now we're just establishing facts, right? We're just establishing agreed to facts. That this is not about
yeah,
what I
right, right.
believe or even find
Sure,
compelling
sure,
yet, but
sure.
just
Yeah.
the
Well,
facts
we
of the
know the
matter.
fact is that the canines didn't find it, but you're saying that maybe they did find it.
Well, I'm just saying that I can't find confirmation either way.
Okay. All right.
That's
But
it.
but
I'm
you
just saying I
have
can't
but
find
and but
my understanding is that they did not. That is correct, but I can't find confirmation either way. But even if they
so if
didn't,
they okay.
that does not that's still a far more likely explanation
Okay.
than that
Do
the
you know?
government planted the rifle.
Sure,
Yes,
sure. Do you,
it's more
sure.
plausible.
Okay.
Yes.
So but you do agree that there was a found?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do believe that there was a found where they say it was found?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who owns that land?
No. Who owns it?
Well, I think you again. That's the whole point of why Candace is so
Is
power.
this
Hold on,
uh,
what's going on?
how is
You
this a
asked me a
pop
question.
quiz?
Calm
How is
down.
this relevant?
What? I,
How's this relevant?
I mean,
Can you tell me how it's relevant?
absolute,
Who owns the land? Okay.
absolute. Who owns the? Okay, So can you tell me how it's
Okay.
not relevant who owns property where firearms are found? Can you tell me how that's
Well,
not relevant?
I'm not saying it's not relevant. I'm
Okay,
asking
so
how it
then
is
it is
relevant.
relevant.
Nope, nope. That's you're just committing a logical fallacy
Okay.
there. So me asking you how it's relevant isn't me saying that it isn't, only that you now have the
Well,
burden to
use
show
your
me the relevancy.
imagination then. Use your
I'm gonna use my
imagination. How you
imagination.
think?
Okay,
Use your
so
imagination. Why you
ready?
think it
How
would
is it
matter? Why a
relevant?
firearm is on someone's
How
property and who
yeah.
owns the
Can you tell
property that the
me
firearm is on?
yeah. Okay, who owns the property and how is it relevant?
Well, again, I'm more pointing out, again, going back to Candace, why it's so
You're
important. Wait,
not
hold
going to
on,
tell
hold on,
me
hold
you're
on,
not gonna
hold
tell me
on.
how it's relevant, huh?
I
Okay, you're
know
not
how
gonna
it's
tell me.
relevant. You didn't even think to ask where the was found. You don't even know where it was found. You know nothing about. That's my whole point. Leave this to the experts,
Okay,
the investigative
you are
journalists
you
like
yeah,
Barron and
okay,
Candace. They're the one. They're the
okay.
experts. They're the
And
investigators.
yeah,
You're not, and so
they're the
you're just kind of.
investigators.
I'm.
I'm 100% certain that neither of them are investigators, but in any case, can you tell me
Would
now
is getting
what's
clues? Is it
relevant?
getting clues part of an
Yeah.
investigation?
Oh, I got a raging clue right now, bro. Can you tell me how it is the case that
I,
tell me who owns the
I,
property and the relevancy? We'll go through the
okay, sure,
details
sure,
of it.
sure.
Can we
What?
do that?
Sure. Why do you want to know? Why do you
Okay.
want to know who owns land?
Because you made the claim that it's relevant to the case. So that's why I want to
No,
go
I
through it
didn't
with you.
make any claims. I just asked, do you know where it was
Is
found?
this a
I didn't
pop
make a claim.
quiz
No,
or a
but I didn't make
debate?
a claim.
Is this
Will
a
you just
pop
take
quiz or a
back that I made a
debate?
claim because I didn't make a claim? Will you just take that back at
Hey,
least?
let me ask you a question. What was Tyler Robinson's aunt's name? Do you know?
Uh, I don't know. See how I
What
didn't
about his
ask you
uncle's
what it
name?
is there? See how it doesn't
Hang on, hang
matter?
on,
And
hang
I'm
on,
not
hang
gonna,
on.
I don't need to
What
ask
about
you
his uncle's what about his
what's her
uncle's
name is
hang
because
on,
I don't care what
what's
her name is.
bro,
It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
calm down. What is his uncle's name?
I don't know.
What about his cousin
I
twice
don't know.
removed? Do you
I
know
don't
their
know.
name? You don't know. What about the lover? Can you tell me the lover's parents' name?
No, I don't know.
No, you can't tell me. You don't know anything about this case. Why are you coming in here
Um,
talking to me when you don't know anything about this case? You don't know any of the details
no,
of the
no,
case. What is wrong with you, man?
no,
You came
I
in
don't
here
need
to
to know.
debate
I
with
don't
me.
need
You
to know their
don't know
names. I don't
anything
need to know.
about
Do I need to know
anything.
the canines' names? Do
Fucking
I
low
need to know the
tier.
names of the
Totally low
dog? Do I
tier,
need to
bro.
know the names of the canine?
Low
Hello. Do I
tier.
need to know the names of the
Do I need to
canine?
know the
No, I
property
don't.
owner? Can you tell me the relevance of
No,
knowing the property
that's
owner's
way
name?
more significant than actually where
How do you know that?
where a firearm
What?
is found,
What?
whose property is on,
Yeah.
is way more
Why is that
relevant than
relevant?
the aunt's
It's only
name.
relevant if you can tell me the relevancy. Tell me the relevancy.
Okay,
What is it?
I'm just pointing. I don't mind telling you if you're asking me,
Okay,
but
tell me. Yeah,
I
I've been
don't think
asking you.
I
What's the relevancy? What is it? Well, I'm waiting.
fair. Okay, can I? Why do you want to know? That's like me asking what's the aunt's name. I wouldn't mind if
Because
you
you just
asked
claimed
me
it that
if
it's
the aunt's
important. You
name.
claimed it's important, so I want to know. What do you
I
mean?
didn't make the claim it was important. I was just literally
Then why are you bringing
asking
it up?
you. I literally
I don't understand. Why are you bringing
Okay,
it
I'm
up
bringing it up
if it's
because
not
it's
important?
part of there's a lot of facts. Remember we were talking about facts. So
Yeah, but I
there's the
mean, you
fact
don't
that the
know a lot
Kate
of
we
these tangential facts either. You didn't know what the aunt's name was, the uncle's name, the twice removed cousin's name. You don't know what the family dynamic is. You don't know anything.
I don't
You don't
care.
know nothing, man.
I don't need to
It's
know
so
the name of the
stupid. It's such a
canine.
stupid
Look,
line
I
of
told you I don't need
inquiry.
to
So
know the
dumb.
name of the canine that found the
Why not? Why not? How do you know that that canine wasn't present
I'm
during nine
well,
eleven? How do
hey,
you
well,
know?
get
How
hey,
do you know that that
guess what?
canine
If
how do you know that that canine
you
wasn't a
might be
puppy
able to
from a
prove me
litter from a
wrong. Hold on,
9/11
you might
dog?
be able to prove me wrong. I just feel like I don't
Hang
need
on.
to you okay, I might be
How do you
wrong.
know that that
I'm open to
canine
being wrong. Are
wasn't
you
a
open to being
puppy?
wrong? I'm
Absolutely. So can you tell
okay,
me though
sure.
how that can it
Sure, sure.
isn't it
Okay, okay.
possible? Hang on, stop. Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. Isn't it possible that those canines could be puppies from a long line of dogs which could have been present at both 9/11 and the Boston Marathon, and you don't think that's relevant? How could you say that's not relevant?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can have, can have your fun. That's fine. I'll give it to you. But
Mhm.
uh I didn't make a claim that the land was important. I mean,
Good.
but
Good.
it
So can we get back to the
yeah, one of the
facts then?
facts,
Can we do that?
is that we know that the canines didn't find it, that a was found,
Uh-huh.
and that you
Yeah.
believe, I understand you believe that it was found at, the location described is accurate. That land, of
Uh-huh.
course, owned by BlackRock. But again, to you, that wouldn't matter to you, because even though that's a fact, it's not compelling to you, and that's great. You've made that clear. Am I right in saying that it's not compelling to you of any kind? It doesn't
Well,
matter to
can we
you.
first start
Does it?
can we just
Are
start
you gonna?
okay, bro, calm down. I'm trying to answer your question. Okay. Can we just start by determining if the land that this was found on is in fact owned by BlackRock? We're just going to establish some facts here as a baseline. Okay. Can we establish that as a fact first?
Um, I mean, this would be like, for all these facts I've written down. I mean, this would be like a 4 hour, 6 hour thing if we're gonna do this for everything. Yeah. Is it possible that I make a claim publicly that is inaccurate? It's totally possible. If you find that it's not owned by BlackRock, that's great. Let me know. A lot of people who know. Um, and if you want to say that I'm guilty for listening to somebody that might have not been, had all their facts together, then okay, that's fine. I'm guilty. My point is, I want more information, not less. You've already argued you'd prefer less information, and
No, well, no, that's not what my argument was. At least don't be bad faith.
I'm not being
No,
bad faith.
so no, the land apparently this was debunked, and the land that the rifle was used by Tyler Robinson was found on is not owned by BlackRock. According to reports from 2025, 2026, it was found in a wooded area near the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. And it was not owned by BlackRock at all. That stems from a separate
What's
debunked
your
conspiracy
source?
theory
What's your
related to
source?
Thomas Matthew
What's your
Crooks.
source?
So, well, this is fact checked.
What is?
So I'm just
I
fact
mean,
checking
there's a
it.
lot of shit that says fact checked, but what's the
Yeah, it's
source?
factcheck.org.
Oh,
I
oh
don't,
my
I mean,
God, no,
wait,
no, no,
hang on,
buddy,
hang
come
on, hang
on.
on, hang on. If you think that that's not a good source, that's fine. And I'm willing to be corrected on this right now by you showing me the evidence that this land is owned by BlackRock. I'll correct myself right now. Go ahead.
Here's why here's why it
Go
doesn't
ahead.
matter. Here's why it
Nope, I'm
doesn't
willing to
matter.
correct myself right now. Show me it was owned by BlackRock. Go ahead.
Here's why it doesn't matter. And if I
Oh, again, the point that you brought up doesn't matter again. That's really strange. Go ahead. Show me the evidence it was owned by BlackRock. I will correct myself. Go ahead.
I don't mind doing that. I just don't see why I'd have to do it right this
Then do it.
second.
Then don't talk
Well,
about
because
it.
I'm
Do
not the
it.
type of guy
Don't
that's just
you
going to
know,
go on
yeah.
factcheck.org and spew to
Okay,
an
you're the type of
audience
guy
of
and who's just gonna
people.
make shit
Spew
up.
to an audience.
You're just
No,
gonna make
I'm
it
not
up.
making shit up. I already told
Then
you.
show me the evidence that it was done, that it was BlackRock. Go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Okay.
That was the claim, right? I
Yes,
at
that
least
is the
gave you a
claim.
source
Yes,
from
that is
where
the
I read the
claim. That is the claim.
debunking. From where I read the debunking, you can have an issue with my source. That's
Then
totally
we
fair,
okay. So
and
then
I
that
will correct
okay. So
myself
let's assume you
right
have an
this
issue with my
second if you can
source.
give me
Then we
the
get nowhere.
what
We've
you
gotten
okay, give me your
nowhere. Okay,
source.
great. I have a source.
Give me your
But
source.
if you have an issue with it, we've gotten nowhere. What has that done except wasted people's time?
I just want you to show it to me at all.
Okay.
I don't know if I have an issue with it yet because you haven't shown it to me. Can you show it to me now?
Okay. So you're saying it was fact checked,
I'm
right?
saying yeah, that's at least that's what I'm cursory, that's what I'm
Okay.
reading.
Okay.
Yes. Now I
Okay.
could be
Okay. Okay.
wrong. Look, hang on. Let me make the point. I could be wrong. I'm willing to correct myself right this second. You just claimed it was owned by BlackRock, and you can prove me wrong right now, and I will definitely concede in 5 seconds. Go ahead. Show me the proof it was owned by BlackRock. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna look, because I mean I feel like it's a waste of
Okay.
time. I feel
Go
like it's
ahead.
a waste of
Go
time. I
ahead.
really do. Um,
Yeah, it's a waste of time for you to back up your
no,
claims.
no,
I
no. I'm
know.
just saying that even if my source is, then we've gotten nowhere. It does nothing for the conversation.
Then why are you bringing it
Oh,
up?
I'm just bringing it up because there's. I'm just going through the facts. So if we want to eliminate that as a fact, then we can
Then
eliminate it as a
okay, then we
fact.
should establish it as a fact. Then let's establish. That's why I'm trying to establish the facts, right? So since we're trying to establish quote the facts, so we have a baseline from which to argue said facts, then we need to establish this as being a fact. And if we can't establish this as being a fact, you shouldn't bring up a fact as though it's established. But go ahead and establish the fact, and then I will concede immediately or dispute the source. But one way or the other, you need to provide your evidence that this was BlackRock owned land. Go ahead.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look for it again, and
Mhm.
I don't think it makes sense to. I mean, I see your point, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna. There's a bunch of things.
It's the point. It's like it's the point. The point is that you like to argue as though there's an establishment of facts, and then you ridicule me when I stop you to establish a fact. You ridicule me for doing that,
No, I
and
didn't. No,
then
I
it
didn't
turns out
ridicule
that
you. I was just showing
that
you
when I
the
begin
entailment is we get nowhere.
stopping
I was just
you,
showing you the.
no, the entailment is we get everywhere. That's why you don't like it. We're getting exactly to what it is that you want, the establishment of facts. You're making the bold claim that the land was BlackRock owned where the rifle was found. Now go ahead and establish that claim. Go ahead.
Well, so the currently where I'm looking is on X. So do you believe?
Oh, you're
Yep.
looking on X. Okay, can you give me a link to the post?
Sure. So because you want to check my source, correct? Okay, gotcha.
Yes, of course.
And so let's assume the source is then let's just okay, I guess we'll just assume it's not a fact. That's fine. So is that how we can
Oh,
move
okay.
on?
Sure. Yeah. So it's not actually your claim was actually not factually correct at all that this land was owned
I
by
mean,
BlackRock, right?
it's not. I mean, I couldn't give you a fact that Tyler Robinson
Uh
didn't do
huh.
it. I wouldn't be able to give you a fact that.
And that's
No,
not
I'm
what I'm
just
asking
saying.
you.
But
I'm
you
asking you,
understand that I'm
is
not
it
going to
in
be able to
fact?
give you a fact. Do you
Yeah, yeah,
understand that
but
I'm
do you?
not going to
Yeah,
be able
but
to?
yeah, no, I don't
You
understand. I
don't?
don't understand. Why can't you establish that this was owned by
No,
BlackRock? Why?
because there's time constraints. Obviously, we're
What time constraints? I got all day right now.
okay.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. All right, give me a second then. Yeah, is this a first for you? I haven't seen you do this. I'm still looking, man, but I haven't seen you do this where you just want to pause an entire a debate. Uh,
Oh, yeah. Well, then you must not have seen many of my
yeah, I
debates
haven't seen
because
any where
what I
you've
often do
paused and you
when a
haven't been able
person
to move
tries to
on.
establish. Well, I can't move on until you either cede the point that this was not owned by BlackRock or demonstrate that it was, or just say, I don't know why I made that claim because
No, I do
you
know
have no
why I made the
basis
claim.
for
I do know
making
why I
that
made the
claim
claim because other
because you saw it on
no,
X. Because you
because
saw it on
other
X.
sources that I've follow
Okay. Which sources?
uh
Yeah. Those are the sources that I'm
Baron
looking for right
Coleman.
now.
Baron Coleman. Yep,
Oh, Baron
exactly.
Coleman
Oh
said
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can
An
you show
attorney.
me?
Yeah, an attorney
Can you?
said it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your point?
Yeah, because an attorney said it,
Well,
so therefore it's true. I'm waiting
I'm
for
gonna
the.
trust
Can you
that
show
more than
me?
I'm just gonna trust, like, say you, for example, who know nothing.
Well, why are you trusting anybody? Why don't you just trust the evidence? Why can you show me the evidence that BlackRock owned the land or not?
Okay, I'm just. Will you concede the point that you said that I don't? I'm getting it from nowhere when I told you where I'm getting it from, and I was very transparent about that. Will you concede that?
Yeah, so what you're saying is that somebody
Exactly,
said it, so you
exactly.
believed it.
Yeah,
Okay, so somebody said
have you
it,
ever
and therefore
repeated
you
something
believed
that
it.
somebody said?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
okay. So what is the big deal?
Well, the big deal here is that you want to establish things as facts, and then you want to have a debate based on those facts because
The
you say
facts
that
that
the
the
facts
state
that the state
presents.
presents are less good than the alternative facts which you can present. And then you present a fact which you have no grounding for at all. None, zero, except you just heard it somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
you've also
Okay.
said that
Great.
you say things where you just heard it somewhere as well. So what's the big
Well,
deal?
hang on. Context matters here. I might repeat something which I heard on the news or something like this.
Right.
That is, in fact, the case during a debate. But I generally wouldn't say something like this building is owned by X, absent that being an established fact. That's not usually a thing that I would say.